Hey everybody! So what we're going to do today is actually another Reddit r/programming request that seems like someone's already tried to make a solution for, but we're going to actually see how good that solution is, and maybe if we have a better way of doing it, we can come up with that. So this is the actual request itself. It's a random file picker for Mac, okay, good so we know, that supports subfolders that can be used in an Alfred workflow. So I'm not exactly sure what Alfred is, but that's okay because I don't think that's really important to the actual problem statement. So it says he's clueless when it comes to coding. Okay, so it should be something simple that we need to build. And he needs a simple way to randomly select a given number of files from a folder or subfolders and copy them into another specified folder. I would like to be able to perform this task with a workflow in Alfred. I'm not sure how that would, I'm not sure how that kind of goes together. For example, say I have a folder called folder, and it contains subfolders A, B, C, and D. Each of those subfolders contains 5 files of different formats. And so I could fire up this program or workflow, tell it I want 4 files, so that's an argument, and copy them to the destination folder, folder 2. The program might copy A3, B1, B4, D5, or any other combination in the original folder. Can anyone tackle this for me? Willing to compensate you for your time, you can produce something that works. Hey, so we actually might get a little bit of money out of this one. I'll be surprised. Anyway, looks like someone made a solution. We can check it out right now actually and see. So it looks like it's a .NET. Oh god, I just vomited in my mouth. Anyway, so yeah, he's showing the file structure, A123, B123, just an example folder structure. That's a good way of doing it. And then there's a destination folder that is completely empty. Cool. Like how he's using the dark theme on Windows. And so it looks like you execute a PowerShell. Yeah, a PowerShell. He wanted this for Mac, so you know it's kind of an issue. .NET doesn't come installed on a Unix system. Anyway, randomizer.dll, he won't be able to run a DLL actually without installing the .NET SDK on Mac, but that's okay. Root folder, destination folder, just drag and drop them. That's a native function of terminal, not .NET. And then the count to move, 4. Okay, and then he should get, or 5, sorry. Picked some random files. That's the one that were picked. And I'm sure if he opens up that destination folder, they're probably going to all be copied there. Look at that. That solution works. Well, there's a little bit of an issue with it. The fact that you need to ask the user to install the .NET Core SDK is going to be an issue, especially since he's on Mac, because it was made in C#, which is a Windows-based language, runs on .NET Core. It works on Windows and Mac, he's right. And once you install the SDK, you should be able to test it in terminal by typing .NET version. That's true. I've offered solutions just like that where you need to install Python or something similar, and that's okay. It says thanks for the effort, and then it looks like, okay, so he's had some problems actually with this before. And you can see actually we have the solution down here, but I'm going to again walk everybody through the creative problem solving and just the whole process of how we went about actually solving this, all the stuff I Googled, those kind of things, because we're going to be actually doing something that's way easier. So you see this guy's got unhandled exceptions because he's probably on a Mac and he might have not installed the software properly. The path could be wrong to the .NET Core SDK. All these issues can pop up, especially when you ask someone to install a Microsoft specific product on a Mac, because those ports aren't always perfect, and that's okay. I'm not going to sit here and talk crap about .NET, but I will say that I am definitely biased, and I hate .NET. I will never, ever, ever build anything in .NET ever. I just don't like the way that the language is. I just don't like the way the language works, to be completely honest. Have I tried building anything in .NET Core before? I actually have, and I hated every second of it. I'd much rather stick to just better solutions. Anyway, we're not gonna talk about my biases today. We're actually going to talk about how to solve this problem. So the problem statement is like this. Here we have an Ubuntu virtual machine running. The reason is because I run a Windows desktop, and what we really want to do is we actually want to make something that's solved for a Unix-based system. Ubuntu and macOS are both Unix-based, and so that this is going to actually port a 100%. If it works on this machine, it will work on Mac. So you can see I've already created 2 directories, files and destination. Inside of files, we have the subfolders, and we also have some sample text documents. They're empty. We can change these extensions to anything we want, but they're empty. It's just for the structure that we're worried about. And then you can check and see that our destination folder is empty. So just so we're starting off with a clean slate. What we're actually going to construct today is actually, or here we'll open up a terminal right here, and we're going to go to desktop. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually make a shell script today. We're going to utilize bash, and bash is born again shell. So there's a couple commands that we're going to be using that might be specific, but either way, this is just how I went about doing it. So we're going to touch, and we're going to call it randomizer.sh. Touch creates a file. You should see actually randomizer.sh just got created. There we go. And what we are going to do is we're going to actually open up this guy. So let's see, I've got Atom already installed on this. Atom is probably overkill for just creating this shell script, but that's okay. So here we go. We've got randomizer.sh. You can see somehow I accidentally made a Git directory a long time ago. I don't need a Git directory on my desktop. Anyway, so what we're going to do is the first line that you have to start off every shell script for, especially if you're utilizing bash, is going to be hashtag !bin/bash. You can also do .sh for just regular shell if you're doing a regular shell. But we're going to use bash just because it's just that's the objective that we're looking to go with. So what we're going to do from here is we know that we're going to be passing a couple of arguments to this. And so an argument, for example, is if we were to go randomizer oh, we on our desktop? Is it there? Yeah. I don't know why it's not automatically completing. It's kind of annoying. There we go. Okay. So if we were to go to this right here, this randomizer.sh, we just called it and nothing happens. But if we were to do randomizer.sh and then we were to say, okay, we're going to drag this file to this destination and we want 5, this is an argument, this is an argument, and this 5 is also an argument. And if we do that, nothing's going to happen. We can pass infinite amounts of arguments because right now we aren't doing anything with it. So we're going to have the input directory, output directory, and the count. And the count is going to be the amount of files that you want. Let's say you want to get 10 random files. Well, that's fine. So what we're going to do is first we have to kind of make variables to store, because there are variables in bash. Bash has its own set of syntax, and we're going to actually touch on that today. Just because bash is actually, it can get extremely confusing, and your Google foo is definitely going to need to be refined when you're looking up anything for bash. So one thing that I know we're going to have to do is we're going to have to probably do chmod, which is going to change the permissions of this file, just so where it's executable. And so anyway, we're going to have file location. This is where all of our files are stored, and it is going to be the first argument. So when this $1, $, is kind of how you denote variables, much like PHP, but this isn't PHP. Also, if we were to add a space, this changes the entire property. File location is now something completely different. There's no spaces in bash. So we're going to have the file location, the destination, not Despacito, destination location is going to be the second argument. And just in case anyone was wondering, you can do running file, and then you can do $0. And $0, the 0th argument, is actually the name of the file, and you'll see that. So actually we can do that. And then we're going to have the count, which is going to be equal to the last argument. Alright, so if we try to run that command again, we should save it first. If we're going to try to run that command again, you see we have a bad substitution on the 3rd line. It's probably this. Running script randomizer sh. The 0th argument was the name of the script itself. And I just wanted to show you guys that, just to show that anything that goes after the actual script that runs, like sh is the function of which you are going to run the script, and and even the script is an argument itself, because sh is actually the original command that you're running. I just wanted to show everybody that. So, and that was some string interpolation that we did right there, which can get very confusing. So first thing we'll do is we'll do echo, and we're going to say we're getting how many files do we want? the count variable. Now we don't do $count because we specified it in the string right here. So you actually don't have to put the $sign when you're doing string interpolation like that. Files. And if we were to run this again, we're going to be getting 5 files because I specified a 5 right there. And so the thing that we're going to do next is we're going to need a list of all the folders in the file location, and we're going to also need a list of all the files that are in the folders. So we're actually going to be running multiple loops here. We're going to get all of the, here I'll display it this way. We know where files is, we specified this, but what I need is, because this is just 3 long, but this could be 10 long, 20 long, 400 long, it could be any number. So we need to get every single one of these subfolders, and then I also want to put in a separate array all of the files that are in every subfolder. That array can be very long. So, and it can also be very short. In this case, the max of files that we're going to have is 9 because I have 3 files and 3 subfolders. So what we're going to do is to initialize an empty array in Bash, you're just going to do folders equals nothing. No space, no nothing. And then we're going to do files equals nothing. And then we're going to, what we're going to do is, we're going to have to get the names of all those folders. So let's do that. So it's actually a little bit Pythonic in how you do this, because if anybody's familiar with Python, you can do a for loop where it's for variable in array. And actually Bash has a similar kind of syntax, slightly different in how we're going to attack it, but I'll get started on that now. So we're going to do for, and let's just call it, I guess, subfolder, right? So for subfolder in file location. In file location, we're going to do, and let's just, for right now, let's just echo the actual subfolder. And this is just going to give us the path. And then you end all your for statements with done. So it's for, do, command, done. And you can have multiple commands in here. We could have 3, 6, 10 commands. It doesn't matter. So you'll notice that we might run into a little bit of an issue here, where all it does is just echo the actual folder file location we popped in here. What we actually need to do is we need to run a subcommand right here that is going to go and grab all of the subfolders of that. So there's actually a command in any Linux-based distribution that's called find, where you can do find and we can do files. Find files, there we go. And then you specify a max depth, which means we're only going to go 1 subfolder deep, and the type is a folder. D is for directory. If we were to put F, it would only give us files. This will return nothing. If we type D, you can see we have not only the origin directory, we also have B1, A1, and C1. They're not in alphabetical order because we didn't specify that, and they don't have to be. So what we actually want to do is run a similar command right here as we did here, except files is now a variable. How do we do that? Well, what you do is you actually wrap the entire thing in parentheses, which means execute this statement. And so now we're going to do find. Now we're going to specify a variable, file location, because this is executing this function, but the reference still needs to be there. We need to tell it that's a variable. We also want to get all the files in the directory. We don't want to return this because there's no files in there. We could use it and have it be part of our folders list, but it's going to be incorrect. And if someone were to store files in the root directory, they would also get picked up. That wasn't part of the spec. So we're going to do max depth, specify 1, and we want to return the type of directory. Now, if we echo subfolder, let's see what we get. We're getting 5 files. Oh, look at that. The subfolder, 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 subfolder. Look at that. Our script is working perfectly right now. Well, we actually need to add it to our array of folders because otherwise this isn't going to be very useful. So what we need to do is you can actually just simply concatenate or append an item onto an array by just putting the entire thing in a, because we have to put this in quotations or else this won't work. And actually I can show you what happens if you try to do that. It's going to show that the reference doesn't exist. So look at that syntax error. It says this, vague. It was expecting, in quotes, a parenthesis. when we're specifying just a single variable, you need to wrap it in quotes. Oh, wait, let's see, did I do that incorrectly? No, that should be working. Let's see if we need to put this in braces actually. Oh, you know why? It's folders. And then let's see if we can get rid of that. See, here we go. Here we go. We're getting part of the problem already. Let's just try passing in subfolder. Let's see what happens. Line 14 is expecting a closed parenthesis. It's very interesting to see, because that is definitely not what we're trying to do here. Let's see. If we wrap this in quotes, what happens? And this is just part of the process, guys. I mean, I've already wrote this before, but I'm not looking at the original code. So, this is just what happens. Let's see, syntax error. Word expecting on line 14. Let's see. So there's multiple ways that you can append things to arrays in Bash. And we're actually going to go and Google that, which I know is not fun, but item to array in Bash. And we're going to see what's going on. So it's actually interesting because it's showing us the exact operator that we're using right now. So let's see, maybe we did something incorrectly. Wonder what happens if we just echo this. Will that work? Oh. Do that all the time. Let's see. It's very interesting why that's not working all of a sudden. Let's see, it's expecting a close. Let's see, yeah, it would be folders plus equal, and it would be subfolder. Let's just try making this a single variable. Are we messed? No, it's the same result. I wonder if, let's see, we might have a problem here. No, Bash is definitely feasible. You know what? I think I know what the issue could be. Let's see. Yeah, well, that tried to just access our root directory. That's never going to work. Let's add in our arguments again, because I just realized I've been executing this with sh, and it's actually calling for bin bash. So that actually could be the problem. Yeah, that was the problem. So look at that. So stuff like that can happen. I'm asking it to do bin bash, but the problem is that you actually have to use bash. If you use sh, these aren't always going to be the same. The commands are not always going to be the same. So let's wrap this back in quotes and let's run the command again. And let's see what the whole entire list looks like. And so the way to do that is you would do folders and you specify the @ variable, and what this does is this gives you every single item in that array. Let's see what happens. So this gave us 1, showing us that there's only one subfolder. Or no, I'm sorry, C1. I almost saw the end. There it is. It's 3 items in the array, which is the location, the system location of our subfolders. This is exactly what we need. So there we go. So we're doing all right now. All right, we're back on track. Sorry about that small sidebar, but that's how anyone can make mistakes, man. This stuff can just just because it's out there on the internet doesn't mean it's easy to do, okay? And the only way to learn is by doing, and so that's why I hope you're just following along just to do this really, really rudimentary but real problem someone is suffering from. So the next step that we need to do, this is going to collect all subfolders. So once we've collected all the subfolders, now we need to collect all the files in our subfolders, which can be any length long. It's actually very similar to this for statement. We're pretty much going to run it again, except this time we want to do for folder in, and right now we don't need to find anything again because we're not trying to, we're just trying to get into the folder itself. So we can do folder, sorry, and then just dump the entire array. So that means go over this. This technically gets set as a folder variable. This gets set as a folder variable, and this gets set as the folder variable. And then what we're going to do is, while we're inside, we're going to start another for loop for file in, and this is when we do the find again, because now we're trying to dump the contents of the entire subfolder. So we're going to do find folder, which is a reference to this, find folder, and we want to do a max depth again of 1, but the type this time is F, and then we're going to do a do and a done. And now what we can do is we can just do files, as we did before with folders, files plus equal file, which is a reference to this variable that gets instantiated each loop. Okay, let's see what our list of files look like now. So we can do echo, and then files at. Look at that. Gave us an entire list of files. Also gave us this swap file. Not so sure about what that is. Yeah, we definitely don't want to do that. Okay. Well, yeah, we're just going to have to see what the swap file is. Apparently it's inside one of these directories. It must be hidden. Let's see if there's a way to view it. No, we don't need to restore it. Show hidden files. It's already there. Somewhere in here is a swap file, I guess. Huh. Anyway, I don't think we're going to actually have to worry about that. We can actually just do .txt, and that might get rid of it. Let's see what that does. Let's put this in string. Yeah, somewhere a swap file exists. It's kind of annoying, but I guess that's just the way we have to deal. That's just what we're gonna have to deal with. Anyway, let's do folder, and yeah, okay. Well, this is gonna have to deal with. I don't know what a swap. I don't know what this / swap file is. I don't know where it's coming from, and I definitely can't even find it. Let's see if we go to CD files, and let's do find. I'm gonna do / swap file. There it is. Where is it? Is it a type of file? Yeah, it's just like empty. Well, I want to get rid of it. So we're gonna do find. Interesting. Cannot remove swap file. It's kind of annoying. Is it something that is a remnant of having directory structure open? No? That's weird. Let's give it a little Google right here and remove. Let's see. Must be an Ubuntu specific thing. Let's see. Yeah, we definitely don't need that. I mean, I know what the swap file is for, but we don't need it. And I don't understand why it's getting returned either. It's technically a file, though. Let's see. It's not in there. Let's see, we go to A1. And LS. And let's just check B1. I don't know. Yeah, it's not showing the hidden file. Huh. And we'll do find swap file and enter in the password for the VM. Okay. Anyway, that was weird. See if we can get back to running the script again, just to get the swap file off, because that definitely isn't going to be something that probably is going to be replicated. It's still there. Whatever. Let's see. Let's figure out how to delete this bad boy. I think it's kind of annoying. Let's see. Swap off data V. Okay. I keep doing that. Okay, there we go. Now we've gotten rid of it. We don't need swap files on. I don't know why they're all there. But anyway, you can see we've got every single file that we need now. And so actually, we're good to keep going. All right, let's get back to what we were doing. So just a reminder of where we're at. We've got all of our subfolders listed, and then we went into every single subfolder and got the actual file that's sitting inside. And right now we're just saving both of those, the folders and the files, to an array. What we want to do is we want to go and pick a totally random file out of this entire array, but only once, because we don't want to have duplicates. He didn't say anything about duplicates, but I assume he wants unique files. So what we need to do is we're going to need to have another array, and we're going to call it selection. It's going to be an empty array again. And what we need to do is we need to do a while loop, because we want to execute a while loop until our selection array is full. Because what I'm planning on doing is picking a random file, and then if the file is in the selection array already, it actually doesn't count towards the count, and so that selection is not going to be valid. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So we're going to do this. We're going to get the length. This is what the hashtag does. It gives us the length of the array we're looking for. And we want to dump the entire array so we can get the actual true length. And then we want to pass a less than. So these brackets are a conditional. You can do the if statements in Bash. They typically look like this. They'd be if, conditional, and then they're fi. And so that's the end of an if. With while, you actually just end whiles with a done. And it's the same structure, do done. So, but anyway, we're going to do less than, and we want to get the count, because we want to make sure that the operation we're doing, we are not done until this array is equal to the count that we specify as we pass into an argument. So the first thing we're going to do is we need to get just a random number that is, or a random selection out of this entire array, which is just, we just printed onto the into the console. The way to do that is we're going to specify a new variable, rand, and it's going to be equal to a special variable in Bash called random. And then we're going to send this what looks like a modulus operator, and we're actually going to send it the entire length of files. So it's going to pick a random number out of however long our files list is. So A. And then I think we should be good. Let me see, did I not close something? It doesn't look right. No, that should be right. Okay. And then what we can do is actually, I'll just show you the number that gets printed. Well, actually, if I do that, we're going to have to force cancel the while loop. Yeah, whatever. I'll just show it to you. We're gonna have to cancel it though. This is gonna go crazy. So you can see we're picking random numbers all the time, just random ones. But notice none of them are greater than 9. Why are none of them greater than 9? Because there's only 9 files to choose from. So none of them are greater than 9. This is giving us the index of whatever one that was chosen. So what we can do is take the one that was chosen, add it, plus equal, we're back to this guy again, to, and this time we're in bash, so we won't have that problem again, files, and then since we're using another variable, it only goes 1 deep. We're going to specify the actual rand. This is an index. This will give index that is chosen from length of files. Really, maybe amount of files might be easier for everyone to understand. So anyway, now that we're here, what we can do is we now have got our selections, and so it's going to keep adding selections till we do this. Now here's the thing. Let's say we echo the maybe just the selections themselves. Let's just empty the entire array just to see how long it is. Selections at. So we're going to empty the entire array. And you see, look, getting 5 files. There's 5 files in there. But let's see what each 5 files are. I bet you there are some duplicates. We've got A1, B3, B3. Look at that. We've in our first loop, we already got a duplicate. We got 2 B3s, and that is just not what we're trying to go for. So what we need to do is actually run a script that not only that after it adds it to the selection, checks if the one that we just added was even unique to the entire selection. And so this is the a way to do it. It's probably not the best way, but you would take the entire array of selections, and then what you're going to run is actually a process inside of it. You're going to want to execute a process, and then what we're going to do is for I in the entire selections array. Okay, you add a semicolon, which is pretty much like a break to go to the next line. That's how you just chain things together. We're going to do this all in one line. You would do echo I, and this is going to actually give us the actual selection that was chosen. And then what we want to do is we're going to end the loop, and then we want to sort. And sort is a special command that you can run in terminal, where basically we're going to be sorting by unique. So this is going to return an array of only unique variables. That's all this is going to do. This whole for thing is going to return an array to our array that is purely unique. So if like in this loop, when we first specified B3, when we got to this loop, it would specify B3 again, but this would evaluate and remove this item because it's already a duplicate. It was found. It would remove this item or this one. Either way, it would just remove one of them. And so even though we're on our 5th loop and we should have added a 5th file, we're actually now going to remove it, and now we'll wind up back with 3 files. And that's also something I've noticed right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. But we need 5 files. Well, the easiest way to do that is we're having a problem with an off by 1 error. So what we want to do is just probably make an adjustment counter and have it equal to count plus 1. Now we have a count adjustment. Let's take this variable and we're going to put it there, and let's see if we get 5 results. Let's see. What are we looking at? 32. Did we leave something out? Let's see. Unexpected ended a file. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Can't escape. So we're looking. So this actually appends and prepends a slash to the to the actual selection item, because that's what we're trying to filter out. And the thing is that you have to escape these slashes. So let's see if that worked. So we're still having problems with it. Let's see, done sort you. Let's see. For I in the entire array of selections. Yeah, that's what we want to do. Let's add a space here just in case. Do. And you want to echo out the item itself. And we want to make sure everything's quote slash quote, and then the item, and then we want to do slash quote quote, which makes sense, and that'll close it. And we're done, and we do pipe it out to unique. Okay, let's see. Oh, I didn't save the file, but either way, yes. Okay, well, we walked through that quite slowly, but either way, I did just explain it again. So we're going to evaluate this assignment, and then we're going to actually evaluate this inside, which will return a unique array and reset the selections variable to the unique array of itself. It's kind of it's self-referential, and you can see actually when we print out the selections array, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items, and every single one of them is unique. We got A2, A3, B2, C1, C2. And we can keep running it. A1, A3, B2, C2, C3. You can see we're not getting any replicas, which is good. So what we want to do now is actually the easiest part, and we just want to go for file in. I put this in quotes again. Always forget that. $, and reference our selections. And we want to get the we want to reference the entire array of selections. We want to do a do and a done. And what we want to do here is echo, let's just say copying file. Oh, we just call it here. Copying file to, and here we can call destination location. And then we just run a CP. CP is for copy, and we want to just specify the file, and we want to specify the destination. And what this should do is, well, it should do the job, actually. So let's see. Okay, so we got an error for a missing operand after the destination, but I don't think we really need to worry about that. Let's see. It should be, so it's option, can I please scroll down, thank you. Okay, and then it's T, directory source, to copy source and destination or copy multiple sources to directory. So there actually is a way that we could just line up all of these options and then just pipe them all to the directory all at once instead of doing this loop. And that's something that I actually would encourage you to do as a viewer to see. How would you just take the entire array of files and CP the entire thing to a destination location? There's actually apparently, according to the docs, a way to do it, and you just type in CP and then you would empty out the entire array and then you would do -T to the directory source, which is kind of cool. So either way, you can do that. And actually, I'm not going to do that right now, but I really recommend that you do it. What I'm going to do instead is probably not the best practice thing to do, and just do to/dev/null, which will pretty much encapsulate all standard error and just pipe them into the nothingness of a dev null, which is where you can just put all your trash whenever you have bad output. All we want are our echoes. Our echoes will not go there. If we were to do 1 here, it would pipe our echoes, but 2 is for standard errors. And you can see that we didn't get that error anymore. We got just the stuff that we echoed. So we're copying blank to home. So I guess there's something going to be nothing there. Let's see. Let's see what we got. Desktop, destination, and here we can delete all these files because this is after multiple runs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all unique. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all unique. Ain't that something? You know, it would be nice also to have a script, to have a setting in the very beginning that just automatically clears out your destination directory. And if you want, we can actually do that right now. What we can do is we'll just say echo clearing destination. Oh, here we'll actually, you know, why not tell them about it? Clearing destination of old files, because they're copies, so it's not like we're losing data here. I think they'd be fine with it. And if we were to just do probably just rm and then we're gonna have to do remove force. We're gonna have to throw that tag at it, and we're gonna have to do destination location, and we're actually gonna want to wrap this in a string because we actually need to specify that we don't want to remove the folder itself. So just like that. All right. And this is dangerous because we probably, let's just do RM at first because you really don't want to go crazy with RF. And so we said clearing destination of all files. So we've got some files here. Let's see what happens. We should only wind up with 5 files. We got a couple more. Yeah, we'll just keep adding, and some of them are the same results, which is at this point actually we have everything except A2. A2 just seems to never be chosen. Eventually it will show up in this directory. There it is. Okay, now we have all 9 files in here, so it's just never going to change. So let's just try RF. And you know what? One way to probably test this before we do it, let's silence this line. Let's run it again. We've got destination folder. Let's open in terminal, and let's just do cd out of it, and then just do rm rf destination asterisk, and you see that that command can clear it out. So just a way to be safe. You never really want to go crazy with RF because you're definitely going to hurt yourself on that one, especially if for whatever reason they didn't define destination location. So actually this script is extremely dangerous with this line right here. So you know what? Let's just not. You can write an if condition to where the destination location must be present, but then what if they mix up the order of and they put the destination location, the file location? They should clean it up themselves. That kind of thing. Those are the kind of things that you have to think about with your end user, because you're supposed to build stuff to be idiot proof, but the problem is that the world always builds a bigger idiot. So there's some times where you just have to, you have to future proof your code and also idiot proof it, and that can sometimes be a little bit challenging. But once again, I encourage you to do it. For the directory cleaning, I would really advise against that. I would just maybe put a message at the beginning that says, hey, you should clear out the directory before copying files to it, because otherwise you're going to wind up with any files. So we know we have up to 9 files, so that means is that as long as count is less than 9, we probably won't run into any issues, because otherwise this while loop will go on forever, because selections will never ever be less than the count adjustment. So what you might want to do is you actually might want to have another condition that counts how many times this while loop runs. Let's say if it goes 40 times, you just want to break out of it because obviously someone specified something wrong. Or you could actually, when you get your file list, just see if your count adjustment is greater than file. Then you would know that this is impossible. Like the command that they're trying to execute is impossible. So that's another project that you can work on. So 2 enhancements to the script: copying files to the destination location in one line without doing a for loop. And the other is making sure, writing an if condition that exits out of the script if the count that the user asks for is greater than the actual number of files available, because this while loop will have a problem. Anyway, but that's pretty much it. We can put a 6 here, or an 8, or 7, and you can see we just go through and do that. And if we were to specify all 9, we're going to wind up copying every single file to the directory. If the file was already there, it just gets written. But actually, so yeah. So this copied every single file because it's the total number of files that exist that are even available for choosing. So, I mean, if we wanted to exercise that, I would imagine you would do if, and then you would say if the count adjustment is greater than the actual list of files. I mean, we're winding up doing it now, and you want to dump the entire files. And we're going to make this a little bit more safe. Then we're going to probably exit. Probably going to exit with a 1, and before that we want to tell them count specified. Now let's just do count of count is greater than files available of, and here we can just do files at, let's see, let's put 10. Getting 10 files, and yeah, it just exited out immediately. Let's see. I mean, I did its job, but it didn't echo. It didn't do our echo statement. It's kind of annoying. Let's exit with a code 0. Well, I know if we do this, it's just going to run forever, but it's going to tell us at least. Here, let's not pipe the error out, because I bet you that it's telling us something important. Wait, this is correct. Why is this not? Is it done? No, it can't be done. Huh. Let's see. Bash if. Let's see how it ends. Fi. Oh, you have to then. Ah, there we go. Okay. Let's add this stuff back. There we go. Okay, that's what we were missing. Exit with a 1. Let's see. If fi. Let's see. And we got a then. And we can do this. I don't think the order is important. Let's see, line what, 27? Command isn't found. Because they're right next to each other. Oh look, that while loop kept going. There we go. Okay, now we got it working. Spaces were important right here, and also you needed to have the then, but it is if fi, but then you have the nested then, and then you execute your statement. So now, if we try to do it, count of 10 is greater than the files available of 10. I guess maybe we should do count adjustment, because otherwise it's kind of confusing. Well, no, because then the is actually gonna be confusing for a user. Probably just want to do files -1. I don't know if that math is gonna equate. Yeah, it's gonna be bad substitution. Let's see. Yeah, it's still bad substitution. You could get the actual just count and then set it to a variable and set it equal there. Either way, you can just do. We can just get rid of it for now because it's not confusing. It makes sense here because the count adjustment is greater than, but you don't want to show them the count adjustment because they put in a number and it'll confuse them because we have to adjust it in order for our loop to work. You could also just change this to just being less than. You could just do less than or equal to, which you can actually do by doing comparison operators. You can put the less than equal to, but you have to change the format of the actual condition. So, but I just use the LT tag. Either way, you just do that, and we don't even have to show them the amount of files. Just say counts greater than and files available, and there you go. So count is greater than files available. Look at that. And then we exit the code so we never hit this while loop, and then everything's done. So once again, short little project, not perfect, but that's okay, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to solve problems. And if this were something that were going to be used in a more critical sense, then yeah, we'd probably be more careful with it. But I really just wanted to go over basic bash. You need nothing installed to run this at all on any Linux distro, because you should already have bash installed. So that is pretty much everything, and I think we can consider this guy's problem solved. So we can get rid of this information, and so we can actually go ahead. I've already gone ahead and told this guy, hey, we've already solved your problem, and we said, here's how you run it, and it's really easy because he said he had no programming experience. So this is what we do. He can just type this stuff in, drag files, terminal auto-populate it. See some outputs. I included a low quality little GIF off of Giphy of me working on it, and this is the gist. this will be linked in the bottom, and this is a script that I sent him. You can see that we made some actual different modifications to the script. So that's just and actually the one that we probably just wrote was way better than the one that I put. So you can improve upon the gist on here, and any improvements that you have, I highly recommend you can send them to me, or leave comments, anything like that. It's a public gist, so you should be able to use it. GitHub Gist, if you're not familiar, by the way, is like a sub. Well, it's a subdomain, it's a subservice of github.com, where you can just quickly, like let's say you have just like a simple web page, index, CSS, JS. You can add all of them into one. And actually, if you have an account on GitHub, you already have an account for GitHub Gists. And so these are some other things that I've done for people over the time. And so anyway, that is pretty much it. And I think that is all for this little solution today. So I hope you all got something out of it. If you have any questions, leave them in the chat. If you have any comments that you want to leave, please leave them in the comment button. In the comments section. And if you are interested in more videos like this, I'll be posting them on the YouTube channel, and I'll also be doing live solutions like this pretty often as files come through and as problems come through, and people always seem to have problems, so there's no shortage of that. And also, we're going to have some custom projects that I have ideas for and slated that we're going to attack in the future. So if you're on YouTube, hit up the Twitch channel whenever we go live, get notifications on that. And if you miss the stream, you can find me on YouTube and you can watch the video and follow along that way. I want to thank you all for watching and joining me on this, and until next time, let's build something.